here we are.
All right, so I already took the tongue lock off. I'm gonna leave that on for a second. I'm gonna put the trailer up, bringing the tongue up so I can bat the truck up to it. So this video that we're doing is how to hitch up your truck when you have sway and weight distribution bars and a bumper pull truck. So I'll go over greasing the ball, greasing the weight distribution nubs. I call these two the nubs that go into the weight distribution hitch down here. How to connect all that, and then my 14-point checklist on when I'm actually hooked up, connected, ready to go. 14 points of how to make sure that nothing goes wrong. So let's back up the truck.
We have a backup camera. If you don't have a backup camera, it might help to have somebody kind of helping you out. Kurt's pretty good at this. He's gotten to be pretty precise.
I know everybody thinks that you have to back it up just perfect the first time. I am pretty lined up, even though I'm probably about 3-4 inches in front. I'm going to bring the trailer down to just above the hitch, the ball. So it's just above the ball right there, and again only about 3-4 inches in front of it. I'm going to take this lock off at this time. I do have one set of keys completely for the exterior of the trailer and for hitching up the truck. Not a bad idea. Nice keychain from a RV park that we stayed at. Gotta find the right key though. So, open your tongue lock. I'm gonna set this lock right here because I actually use it to lock this in as we're traveling down the road. Now I like cleaning this off with a terry cloth towel. I picked these up in a big bag from Home Depot. I just believe that these do a better job cleaning the ball. You want to get all these nubs cleaned out. I always wipe off my hitch at the same time. We've had this weight distribution hitch, and this is actually made by Fastway. It's the E2 hitch by Fastway. I'll put a link to that in the description, along with many of these other products that I'm going to be using. We've had this weight distribution hitch since we bought the trailer in February of 2019. It's April of 2020 right now, and the reason it looks so good is because I completely took it off of the truck and covered the ball and spray painted the whole thing to protect it. That's one reason why you don't see any rust or anything on it. Alright. I'll save that towel for cleaning those. I picked this up at Home Depot. White lithium grease. It's made by Blaster. The only problem is it didn't come with a straw for in here, so it's very messy. I think that'll be good if it's got a straw that I can put in there and then just use it to spray on here. What I have been using it for is to spray these up here on the top side of the weight distribution arms. spray the bottoms as well. Just enough in there to coat it nicely. And then this is made by Reese, Hitch ball lube. And this I actually put on with paper towel. You just want to get a nice coat on the actual ball. Doesn't need to be too much, just needs to be nicely coated. And what this does is, by lubing all of these up, is it stops the friction between the actual receiver part and the ball, and then from the weight distribution arms and in these nubs on, or in these slots, these holes on the hitch itself.
You can hear our dog in the back.
So now I take the rag and just wipe out in here as best as I can. You can see how dirty that is. And that's just made by the metal friction, all that dirt and grime. I'll wipe off the lock here a little bit because there is some grease and grime in there. Then I'll take one of our weight distribution arms and clean those off as well. Now, I don't need to lube these up because in the hitch here, that's already lubed. So I don't lube these up. Take this one off, and then I'm going to back up the truck. Let's talk a little bit of safety. Always make sure that your parking brake is engaged on your tow vehicle. That is key. Your tow vehicle could roll. The parking brake, the emergency brake. Always make sure that you have chocks on your trailer, both front and back, both sides of your trailer. That is very important. The trailer could roll, and it could certainly crush you between the trailer and the tow vehicle. Very important. I guess it helps if I press the right button too. Get this a little bit closer. And you can see I'm not perfectly lined up. I'm going to back up just a hair more. And that'll slip in. So it's not perfectly lined up. But a lot of times what I'll do, because you could spend all day trying to get this thing perfectly lined up. Now, obviously, only try to pull your trailer over if you feel safe pulling your trailer over, if you feel confident that you can do so, and that you're not going to hurt your back or anything else. You can see it slipped in right there. When it just after it slips in is the perfect time to go ahead and lock that in place. That's locked, and the lock is locked. Now, where I messed up the first time I ever hooked up our trailer and I couldn't get the weight distribution arms on, is I brought the tongue jack all the way up. I put all the weight on the truck. Now, a couple things that we've done since then. We have installed airbags on the truck. Those are suspension airbags. They're coil spring airbags. That's the first thing. The second thing that I learned is to leave the tongue jack down. And by leaving the tongue jack down, what you can in essence do, and I'll do it on this side, but then I'll show you on that side. I'll bring this chain down. Just slip that on and put this in. Now, Jennifer's shooting the video, and it'll be easier for me to show you on the passenger side of the vehicle. You want to go ahead and bring this chain down so it doesn't get essentially locked in there by the weight distribution arm. Set it on the ground. Grab your weight distribution arm. This one has the short rounded top nub that goes up. And I set these on the front of the trailer specifically a certain way so I know how they go in. Put the bottom in, lift up this top locking pin, slide the top in, push the pin down. I put D-rings or carabiners on these pins just to make it easier to pull out. Pull out this, I don't know what this is called, so we'll call this a L or a J bracket, whichever way you want to put it. And then literally, because the tongue jack is still down, I can just slide that right on. Lock this in. One mistake that I made when we first bought the trailer is putting them in that way. That doesn't prevent the arm, the weight distribution arm, from popping off. They're supposed to go in that way. That way it locks the arm in there and the arm cannot come out. You can see that arm is now locked in there and it can't come out. The next thing I'm going to do is lock the chains on. Most states, your chains have to be crossed. Most states will allow you to turn your chain. And by turning your chain, what you do is shorten it. Read your state regulations, but most states require the chains to be crossed, and most states will allow you to turn the chains as long as you're not compromising the integrity of the chain to be able to shorten it if need be. And get that side locked on. Go back over here. This is the emergency trailer brakes. I like this a lot more than just the cable wire that came with the trailer. I bought this off Amazon. This is also made by the same manufacturer as the trailer hitch, which is Fastway. So, just a carabiner on the end. Locks on to the trailer hitch down here. Very important that you don't lock it on here. Don't lock it onto a chain.
Oh, gotcha.
Don't lock it onto the trailer. It needs to be independently locked onto the truck and clipped in. The reason for that is that if the trailer falls off the truck, if the trailer comes off the truck, what's going to happen is this is going to extend so far that it's actually going to, it's going to be hard to see, but it's right here. And that is the pin that it pulls out. You can see that same kind of bungee type wire there.
Kind of hard to see over here, yeah. There we go. think the
So there's a
light should-
pin in here. This is the brake controller for the truck, or the emergency brake controller for the truck. It would pull that pin out, and that will engage the emergency brake on the trailer. So the next thing I'll do is finish putting the trailer down. Take the weight off of the tongue jack. Brake cable, 2 driver's side chain, 3 passenger side chain, 4 should be lights, 5 the lock, 6 the lock on the tongue, 7 and 8, both of those pins are down. 9 is on the driver's side, so I'll do 9, 10, 11, and 12 on this side. 9 is that this is in place. 10 is that pin is in. That's for the driver's side. 11 and 12 for this side. 13 is it that emergency brake pin is in. And 14 is that the jack is up. Thanks for watching us. Please don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and ring the bell, select all, so you're notified every time that we post videos. If you have anything that you do when you're connecting your trailer, please go ahead and put it in the comments. I'd really be interested. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.